Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I hope everybody's doing well today. So, today we are going to dive deep into one of the most controversial yet fascinating spiritual tools. They're spirit communication boards, also known as, and I'm sitting behind one, also known as Ouija boards, or like I've got the psychic circle, and I've got the enchanted, what I used last night. The enchanted spell board. It doesn't matter what name is attached. A spirit board is a spirit board. Okay? A Ouija is just a trademark name. Okay? A lot of people, it's like the manufacturer, what was it? Parker or something like that, came up with that name. It's just a trademark name. It's a spirit board. And so are the other tools. Same thing. Okay. And many of these names, there's so many others out there. I think there's an angel one as well. But we're going to answer questions like, are these dangerous? Are they really dangerous? I'm going to dispel some myths and even give instructions on proper use and things that you should avoid. Okay? Now, they are a portal into the unknown, or is it just a Hollywood hype? Today, I'm going to kind of separate fact from fiction and debunk some of the misconceptions and teach you the proper use of these tools. Safe and meaningful spirit communications. If that sounds good to you, stay with me as we dive into this. But before we begin it and dive into the do's and don'ts of this usage, we're going to break down exactly what a spirit board is. At its core, it's a divination tool, much like tarot cards, pendulums, runes, stones, whatever, astrology even. It's a tool. And the board, and even automatic writing, is a tool. Okay? The board is simply a medium through which messages can come through. The planchette or pointer moves in response to spiritual energy, or sometimes even our own subconscious connection can actually move the board, or move the planchette, rather. It's not the board itself that holds the power, but it's rather the energy and the intention of those using it. Let's talk about Hollywood, okay? These are some misconceptions and some Hollywood stigma that is attached to these boards, okay? Hollywood has done a great job in making spirit boards seem like a one-way ticket to possession, hauntings, malevolent energies, latching on to you forever and ever and ever. Let's see, there was movies like The Exorcist, Ouija. There are countless others that have made these boards look like a tool of the devil. But let me tell you, this is pure entertainment, and that's not reality. I'm not saying that you can't invite malevolent spirits through these. You absolutely can. You can invite the devil himself through these. Yes. Any divination tool. You can invite satanic or negative energy through that particular tool. It's not just a board. It goes to any divination tool. Okay? So let me make that clear. Okay? But spirit boards are no more dangerous than any other tool, right? The real danger comes from improper use or lack of protection or using them for the wrong reasons and in the wrong mindset. Mindset is key as well. Okay? Now, we're going to move on to how to use a spirit board properly. If you want to use a spirit board safely, you must have some kind of structure and have respect for the process. Now, here's how you do it right away. You choose a calm, neutral space, preferably where there's no chaotic energy. Sometimes I defy that. I think when you get more experienced, you can have doggies around. Doggies are very sensitive. Animals in general are sensitive to spirit. But you want to have a place where you're not going to have people coming in and out of your space. You don't want to, because you don't know what kind of energy they carry. You don't want to have your phone turned on and people ringing your phone and texting you and interrupting things. You don't want any of that. You want to tune everything out. You want the television off, etc. You want to cleanse your space with sage or Palo Santo, or you can use sound clearing like bells or singing bowls. I've got bundles of sage that I burned, and you saw me doing that in the last two videos that I actually used that board. I do have a singing bowl here as well. My cleansing ritual solely depends on the energy I pick up on. Whatever my guides tell me to use. And that just comes with experience, to know when to use certain cleansing rituals. And I don't make it all fancy. I smudge my space. There's been times like off camera, before I even turn the camera on, when I do a true crime reading, I'll use my sage stick, or I will play my singing bowl and really get in tune with the energy. The other thing that you want to do is you want to set a clear intention. Are you communicating with ancestors, spirit guides, or a particular loved one? It's like when you come and sit down for a session, you have to have some kind of plan of what your goal is. Can spirit change things up? Yes. Especially if there's a really important message that you really need to hear right now. Spirit could choose to just bring it out. Even if you want to connect to old Grandma Sally, your spirit guide could come in and say, listen up here, okay? And the other thing is a circle of protection. You could say a prayer, visualize white light, call upon your guides for safety. What I do is I have two prayers. And I will even read this out loud. You can use mine if you want. These books that came with these, I never saw really one for the Ouija board, but these spirit boards, they have prayers in them. You can use them. I wrote my own. I just feel like by writing my own, I invoked my own spirituality, my own power within, my own psychic abilities, and my own intentions. So I'm going to go ahead and read you my prayer that I wrote. And I wrote that one, and I'll even though the closing is later on, I will even share that with you. Okay. Yeah, I will bring that out when we get to the closing. But here is what I wrote, and this is my prayer. And I didn't get to bed till like 3 o'clock in the morning because I kept on thinking about Sebastian and everything that I learned. But anyhow, here it goes. By the winds of air, so clear and bright, by the flames of fire, burning light, by the waves of water, deep and true, and strength of earth in sacred view, I call upon the ones who guide, ancestor spirits stand beside, angels, guardians, pure and wise, shine your light where truth resides. Only those of love may speak, only those whose hearts are meek. No shadow force may cross this way, no darkness here shall have its say. The space is sealed, protected, strong. No harm shall come, no spirit wrong. Contained within the board shall be, bound by light, so mote it be. And I will go ahead and hold both sides because it's double-sided. I ran out of space on the one side. So that you, if you want to screenshot this, if you want to use this yourself, this covers everything. It covers who you want to come in, who you're allowing to come in, who's not allowed to come in, and evoking that protection. Okay? And I added in there that the spirits are contained to the board. I've never seen that in a prayer, but I just felt very strong. Because, they say that even if it's a benevolent spirit, it could float around. And if it's outside the board, I'm not saying that it would not return to the board on command, but I like to say, I mean, there's going to be orbs. Yeah. But whoever's speaking is contained in the board. Okay. Now, here is the front side. Go ahead and screenshot that. And if you can read my chicken scratch, this is, there we go. This is the back side. Okay. And I will do the same when I get to the closing section of this video. Okay. Now that we got that, and we have that circle of protection. Other cautionary measure here. Do not use it under the influence of any kind of alcohol, any kind of drugs. This lowers your energetic defenses. Don't do it. You're asking for trouble if you do that. This is what I'm saying. And that's even for anything. Especially if you are trying to connect to beings on the other side, spirits on the other side. You have to be of clear mind. Okay? Now, when you open your session, keep your questions clear and direct. Avoid asking for death dates unless somebody's already passed and you know that they've passed. Don't ask them. Okay? No curses, and no negative predictions. Okay? And when I say negative predictions, saying, your life is over, everything's going to crash, you're going to lose everything, you're going to be out in the streets. Negative energy, you don't want attached to this board. However, the board could tell you, hey, this could be coming up, but you're going to come out of it. This is what you need to do. You could get practical advice on whether it's avoidance or acceptance and how to overcome. That's the whole goal. Just like a tarot reading or anything. Okay? Runes, tarot, whatever tool you're using. When you're giving a reading, you have to give options because the future really is, like I say this all the time, it's not written in stone. Okay? You have free will and the power to change it. All right? Also, be mindful of trickster spirits. Now, I say that for those of you who do not choose to invoke a prayer and put protection on your board. It's basically responses become chaotic or non-cynical, like it doesn't make sense, or they say end the session immediately if you feel uncomfortable. I've never had that experience. Never, ever. I've always done some kind of protection prayer of some sort. I always set that intention. I never... Let's see, I'm 56 years old now. And I started this early teens, 13, 14 years old. So, over 40 years I've been doing this. I never had a negative experience. Okay? And if there's any time that you feel uncomfortable, you can say out loud that we are closing this session now. No spirit may remain here. You must leave. And you have to say it very commanding. And never approach the board. And when it comes to mindset, do not approach the board with fear. Do not approach the board with certain expectations of expecting an evil spirit or negative spirit. Because let me tell you, they'll deliver. Okay? You have to approach the board with benevolence, respect. It's no different than a medium sitting there with no tools and connecting to a spirit. No different. Have to approach with benevolence, with love and light and positive energy. Okay? I've been doing this for a hell of a long time. Now, so that's really important. It's all in the mindset. It really is. And like I said, Hollywood is what really gave these boards a bad rap. Now, these other colorful boards come out, and they came out so they don't feel as threatening. And you can find some homemade boards. Etsy's a good place. I have a resin mold for little mini ones with mini plachettes. I haven't made any in a very long time. I can make them with glitter and beautiful, pretty colors like mauves and rose and purples, light sky blue, and mix it around with white and mix it almost whimsically. I can't get that word out. Sorry, stroke patient. But you know what I'm saying. I can make one of these look so much brighter. Okay. People look at this and they see all the black on the brown, and that's why some people get intimidated by it as well. I started with this. Now this isn't my original. This is probably my last one I had was a glow in the dark one. But I had one of these. I started with a regular Ouija board. And I've had the enchanted spell board for many, many, many years. I used that for many, many years. Now, closing the session properly. Always say goodbye. Move the planchette to goodbye to close. Excuse me, to close the energy channel. Thank the spirits who have communicated and reaffirmed reaffirm the boundaries. The session is now closed. No spirit is allowed to remain. Only love and light may stay in this space. Cleanse the board and space again after you use. In other words, get your sage stick out again. Okay? Now, oops. I hope that wasn't too loud in your ear. I just bumped my mic here. But now I want to share with you my closing prayer. Again, two sides. But the other side, there's only one phrase on there. And I will hold this up after I read it. With thanks I give, with love I send, to guides and spirits, kin and friends. Your words of wisdom, clear and bright, have graced this space with sacred light. As this session now must end, the veil shall close, our voices blend. Return in peace, go as you came, and leave behind no trace, no name. No tether lingers, all is free, no door left open, so mote it be. We part with light, we part with grace, sealed in love within this space. Goodbye, goodbye, with light and love, return to rest beyond our sight. You can see up here, when I was writing it, my mind was going faster, and I forgot the word now. But okay, hopefully you can read that. My chicken scratch, and this was the last phrase or stanza, whatever. Okay, so those are my prayers that I have written and will be using. They're very, 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 very powerful. Okay. Now, after we close, okay, what happens? We're gonna go over a couple scenarios now. What happens if you don't use it properly? A hell of a lot. If you don't follow the rules, while Hollywood exaggerates the dangers, using a spirit board carelessly can open doors that you don't really want to open. Here are some things that can go wrong. Unwanted attachments. If you invite any and all spirits without protection, or lower vibrational energies might come through. Okay. Energetic drain. If you engage too long or without proper closure, you might feel exhausted or emotionally off, a little bit emotionally awkward afterwards. Then you also get the deceptive entities. Spirits are like people. Some are kind, some are not. If you aren't careful, trickster spirits can give misleading messages. Okay, so that's why. And you could get the same thing with the tarot cards too. Misleading information. Because with any divination tool, you're opening up a portal. Some tarot readers don't want to say that. You'll see tarot readers saying, Ouija boards are so bad, da 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 da. But they use tarot cards. Same thing, they're opening up a fucking portal. Oops, sorry for my French. They're opening up a portal. Regardless, that's what this kind of work is all about. And in any practice, you have to take precautions. You have to be protected. I've got crystals all around me as well. And I know I've got my spirit guide, guardian angel, my grandmother. She doesn't allow, I'll put it this way, all spirits have to go through her before they can get to me. She's the guard at the gate. the gate to me, to my space. She guards it. And some of you may have that too, but you have to use it. You have to know that it's there. But it's all in the protection. It's all in the mindset. And the other thing is, if you approach this and want to ask silly questions, oh, am I going to win the lottery next week? It might tell you yeah. Or give you some kind of crazy answer. Ask silly questions, receive silly answers. Is the sky purple polka dotted? I know those are extreme examples. But it's not a game. Procter and Gamble or Parker Brothers or whoever originally put out the Ouija, they want to make it out like a parlor game. It's not. It's not a game. It is a spiritual portal. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not here to try to convince you to try it. I'm here to just educate you on the usage, the do's and don'ts, the myths, things like that. And then you can make your own educated choice if you feel drawn to it. I know that there are some people out there who have been drawn to this kind of communication, to this kind of tool, to a spirit board, but never bought one because of the stigma attached to it. Or they feared it because the preacher in the pulpit told them to. Or some YouTuber said, no, negative. Well, that person that told you that is negative on YouTube, they may have had a bad experience. And I guarantee that they used it improperly. Would I take one of these boards into a house if there's a malevolent spirit? Absolutely not. I would not. So you have to be smart about it. And I've seen like ghost hunters or paranormal investigators on YouTube that would have a psychic with them. And then they bring out an Ouija board or any spirit talking board, even the psychic circle. And I'm thinking, WTF are you doing? You're asking for trouble when you do that. You have to use your discernment. If something feels dark, don't open that portal. It's not saying that it's got to stick around. It's already there. So it's not that you're attracting it, but you don't know what kind of mind games it'll play through the board by messages that it spells out. Okay? That's my point. And you don't want it to try. It would not be attached to my boards because I protect my boards. I could probably go into a haunted house with one of these and nothing come back with me. But who knows what the experience would be inside. The messages, things like that. I just choose to stay away from that. Haunted houses, I'm not afraid of a ghost, no, or a spirit. I'm not afraid. I'm in control. I'm in the earthly body. They are not, right? And you have to be commanding with a spirit. You have to let them know who's in charge, that they are not. And this has worked for me every time. You have to have a very, very strong spirit to command those spirits on the other side. This is what you need to do. You're going to listen to me and listen to me good. You have to be very demanding, confident, no fear, backing down. And when I was on vacation, I was in a haunted house. We stayed in a haunted house. And the spirit wasn't bothering me at all. It was bothering everybody else in the house. And then everybody wanted to pile into one bed, one king-size bed. And I'm like, no, I'm not having this. No. And there were four of us women. Oh, we all four can fit. Anyhow, I went out into the main living area, and I knew who the spirit was. I said, listen here. You're going to stop this bullshit right now. I'm not going to be sleeping with these other two women that I barely know that are just friends of my sister-in-law that's here with us. It ain't happening. The shit's going to stop. And I was very demanding, and you know what? There was peace the rest of the vacation. The last couple days, no occurrences. I demanded that she stop her bullshit. And she listened. She had to listen. But anyhow, I'm just telling you a little story about how you have to be commanding with spirits. Okay? Now we got over that stuff. Let's kind of take another part of this. Let's look at the positive aspects of spirit boards. Now that we've gone over the safety and all that, these tools can be a wonderful way to connect with loved ones, ancestors, spirit guides, when used properly. Some of the benefits here are like gaining closure. You know, many people have received beautiful messages from past loved ones. You know, when somebody passes, you wonder if they're okay. Are they happy? Are they at peace? Also, like in my case with a true crime. The victim of a true crime. Beginners, I don't really recommend you dive into that quite yet. But I'm experienced enough. I'm comfortable with it. And I contact a victim, right? And they want to have their say. They want to say what happened to them. Maybe they give names. Maybe they tell who done it. If it's unknown or where they're at. Just like Sebastian Rogers the other night. And I sent a message to Dog through Facebook. Dog the Bounty Hunter. And even Seth Rogers. I don't know if it's going to fall on deaf ears or not. But anyhow. You could get messages. Maybe they want to, or so they want to just tell their loved ones, I'm okay. You could deepen your spiritual practice with these boards as well. It's another form of spirit communication, just like tarot or mediumship, or runes, or pendulum, or whatever. You look at the pictures on the cards, they tell a story. The board tells a story too. And you can receive guidance. You know, spirit boards bring messages of love, healing, and wisdom when they're used with that intention. Now, some final thoughts. At the end of the day, spirit boards are a tool, no different than tarot, runes, pendulums. The key is on how you use them. If you approach them with fear, disrespect, recklessness, you might have a negative experience. But if you come with respect, clear intentions, and proper precautions, they can be an amazing gateway that you might receive guidance, and you'll get that spiritual connection. You know, it could be amazing portal to that spiritual connection and receiving that spiritual guidance, right? In fact, I'm hearing from my guides right now. My grandmother's telling me that I need to tell you, if you are depressed or in a really bad mental state or emotional state, don't go near the board, because you will attract those types of spirits that'll play with your mind. And even if you do a protection prayer, if you're not in the right mind and you're depressed, are you really feeling that prayer? Or are you just mumbling words and then out of desperation? You know, those, you have to be grounded and in a proper mindset. Okay. Thank you, Grandma. But regardless, So tell me, have you ever used spirit boards before? What were your experiences? You can let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mystical and the unknown and more true crime stories. But until next time, stay safe, stay curious, stay in the light. And I dropped the mic.